Hey there, Danny here. Welcome to my ramblings. Tonight, sorry I've been gone. Finally got a car, which I said in the last video, but I had to go get some repairs done to it, and now it's just an amazing little car. Anyways, so I've been working and getting things done. Anyways, tonight I want to talk to you about unconditional love. It's been something that I've watched over my adult life. People who don't have your best interest at heart, for some reason seem to think that unconditional love means that it's unconditional chances and unconditional acceptance of bad behavior. That's not unconditional love. Behavior and chances are not love. Those aren't love. Unconditional love is caring about another human being unconditionally. There are no conditions. You love them and care about them no matter what, even if they've done wrong to you. But just because you love them unconditionally, love doesn't hurt. Anything that does hurt, it's not love. Love doesn't hurt. And here's what I tell people. If you want to understand unconditional love, own a dog. And it sucks to say this, but humans are horrible to animals. Not all, but there's a few of them out there that do. And a dog is going to love you unconditionally. You don't feed it, you neglect it, that dog's still going to love you unconditionally. It doesn't know any other way to be. Now, humans, my, it's okay, buddy. Now, humans, we have rational thought, and we interact a little differently than animals do. So, say that I love somebody. If I have ever shared my heart with another human being, they'll always be with me. But I can't stay around somewhere that is toxic or abusive or just poor decisions and poor behavior and just listening to apology after apology and no changed behavior. That's not unconditional love. That's unconditional. You need to learn to love yourself and find your true authentic self if you think that's unconditional love. Because love is not painful. Love is it's peaceful. It's a soft place to land when you need it. It's a shoulder to cry on. It's somebody that you can call and be excited. They're going to be just as excited as you are about what you're excited about. It's somebody that's going to be your biggest cheerleader, but also they're going to be your honest critic, but in a gentle, kind way. At no point is love anything but gentle and kind. If there's hurt in anything, it's not love. You do not hurt. I have heard from a few different people that say, well, you only hurt the ones you love. Those people that say that are saying it because they're trying to convince you that they should be able to continue to use you the way that they are. Because any sane person who loves themselves is not going to tolerate being treated poorly because supposedly that's love. Love does not hurt. If you're a parent, could you ever imagine hurting your child? No. Why? Because you love them. Love is not painful. An unconditional love, I'm going to say it again, does not mean unconditional acceptance of bad behavior or chance after chance. That's not how it works. And I've been thinking about this lately. Sorry, allergies are horrible lately. Everything's starting to grow back here now. So the thing is I've shared with you before how my mother was not the nicest mother in the world. She was very manipulative and controlling. People were afraid of her. Hell, I was until I became a teenager. I think I was still afraid of her, but I stood up for her. I stood up against her all the time as a teenager. And I was told by her and family members on her side that I'm just being disrespectful, rebellious teenager. No, I wasn't. And how I know that I wasn't is because my mother used to like to throw at my face that I hope you have a kid just like you. Guess what? I did. I had 2 wonderful sons. I didn't go through these huge rebellious stages with my kids, but I communicated with them. I didn't treat them like they were possessions and there to help. So when my mother passed away, it's okay, buddy. It's okay. When my mother passed away in 2021, I took care of her for the last 3.5, 4 months of her life. When my mother passed away, it was kind of like, that was my little girl. That's her name, little girl. She came with a name, so we'll leave it with her. I don't, if it's a small dog, if it's still a young dog, I'm okay with changing the name. I did have one dog that I did change the name, but I'm kind of the place where older unwanted dogs come to live and get love and attention. And so I just don't I don't change their name. I just feel that the dog is already used to that name. Why should I try to change it? This is the dog. Let's just get to know the dog for who the dog is. And I if you've met any of my animals and you know who I am, then you know that all of my dogs have their own personalities, and I encourage it. I want them to be themselves. That's what makes me love them so much. Each one has their own quirks. Like little old grumpy man that you've heard a couple of times barking tonight. He wants to go to bed. That's what he's yelling at us for, because he's already gone outside, he's had his food, he's got water. He wants to go to bed. But I'm trying to get this done. Anyways, so what I realized was when my mother passed away, I had this incessant need to have somebody tell me they were proud of me. You're fine. It's okay, buddy. That they were proud of me. So I used to, when I was a small child, I used to come to my mom and I would tell her all the things I was doing and things like that. Just looking for her acceptance and her telling me that she's proud of me. Not something that I would get, but I carried this into my adult life. And finding my true authentic self and learning to love myself, I have absolutely no desire to have anybody be proud of me. You either like me for who I am or you don't. I don't care either way. If you don't like me for who I am, then don't be around me. Don't watch my show, my channel. Don't interact with me. The truth is, if you don't like me, you're not meant to be in my life. It's pretty much simple. Everything with love is unconditional. And I attribute my kindness, compassion, and loving nature that I am to the fact that my mother was an alcoholic when I was a child. And then she went cold turkey. And when she quit, she got obsessed and addicted to different religions. So we went from different church to different church to different church, and then she finally settled on Seventh-day Adventist. So most of my teen years and preteen years were Seventh-day Adventist. So I think not necessarily the sermons and the Sabbath school and things like that, but I think the people in the church, because I made friends there, I would go and stay at their house for the weekend, or sometimes in the summer I would stay for a week or so. So I was able to be around families from this church. My, it's okay, buddy. It's okay, buddy. Come here. I was able to be around these people from the church and see what real families were like. Husband and wives with children. And I remember realizing that my family's nothing like this. And I didn't see anybody in... Now, I was not allowed to be around my father or my father's family growing up. So I don't have... When I reference family, I'm referencing my mother's side of the family. And on that side of the family, I did not see husbands and wives that were good role models. That's not something that I saw. And so I think for most of my adult life, I made the choices that I made because they were familiar and I didn't know any better. But when she passed, it was like the old me just shed. I had already been working on myself for a little over a year at that point, maybe a year and a half at that point, when she passed. And once she passed, I went through the grieving process, which is really weird to go through. When you have a crazy parent, there's a grieving process with some relief that you don't have to deal with this crazy anymore. So as I was going through the grieving process, which it happens from time to time now, but it's not anything what it was before. But the thing that happened was once she passed, it was like I really got to explore me. I didn't have to worry about her because she didn't do well for herself in life by her own choice. I did a lot. I helped her out a lot financially and everything else. And once she passed, I didn't have to do any of that. I did still have debt from her because when she passed, I had to cover the funeral. She had no life insurance. She had no nothing. And so the reservation that she's from did pay for part of it, but there was still some left over that I had to shell out of my pocket. And I also was off of work for 6.5 weeks taking care of her, so I had taken out, I had used up all of my savings that I had built up over that year and a half, and then I ended up taking out a couple of small loans to take care of everything. And I'm finally done paying for those. This June that's it. We're done. Thank God we're done. Anyways, once she passed, I was really able to start really finding my true authentic self and loving myself. I was starting to be able to see the red flags and things like that in people around me. I know the churches and everybody else tell you to pray. I don't pray like normal people. I talk to the man upstairs all the time. I can spend anywhere from 8 to 12 hours a day in my car doing delivery. And then when I'm here home, I do all kinds. I'm working on the book. I'm doing the videos when I can. I'm in the process of remodeling things here in the RV. Part of the flooring's pulled out now. So I'm very busy, but I'm alone a lot of the times, which doesn't bother me at all. But I do talk to the man upstairs on a regular basis throughout the day. Something good happens, I look up and say thank you, and he gives me little signs here and there to remind me, and I always say thank you. And I talk to him. I let him know what my worries are, and I tell him that I'm gonna hand it all over to you, and you just guide me where I need to go. And so after she passed, there was a point in time where I kind of felt like I had lost that connection, and that connection is very important for me. So when I'm talking unconditional love, that's essentially what God gives you, is unconditional love. He forgives you of your sins. I can forgive too, but I don't have to forget, and I don't have to tolerate being treated like crap. And neither do you. Nobody should have to do that. And if people are doing that, the only reason that they're doing it is because they're using you. That's not love. That's not love at all. And so I've stayed single. I mean, I've dated a couple of guys here or there. Most of them never made it to an actual commitment. I think during this period of time I've had a commitment with one guy in the last almost 5 years, and that only lasted a couple of months. And so during this time being single, when I started on this journey, I wasn't sure how I'd be able to see the red flags and everything else. But slowly but surely, the man upstairs gave me all the clarity that I needed. And I've been thinking a lot about the unconditional love and the things that were inside of me that I held on to that were so familiar, and what I felt free from once she passed. And the one thing I came to conclude is I'm not settling for any relationship until a man comes into my life that's gonna love me like God does. Because I'm not somebody that has a bunch of bad behaviors, and I'm not somebody that's gonna ask for chance after chance after chance. And if I'm not like that, then I deserve somebody who's gonna love me just like God loves me. And when I do find that person, when I do find that man, he will be loved as God loves him. And until I find that, I will not settle. I deserve that. And here's why I will not settle. Because I'm quite happy on my own. I'm really... When I started on this journey almost 5 years ago, I had never... I mean, I lived on my own after my first divorce with my children, but my children were there. I had things to take care of and other responsibilities. In 2020 was the first time that I'd ever rented my own apartment, my own place that was mine. I didn't have to consult somebody on furniture or decorating it or anything else. It was all me, and I didn't have anybody else to take care of but me. And I had never done that. And when the kids were little and I was single, a lot of my money went to the kids, which is what it's supposed to do. So 2020 was the beginning of me being able to take care of myself fully and not have to worry about other people. And I still helped my kids out and my mother. And then when she passed, I do help my kids out if they need it, but they don't really need it all that often. It's a little bit here or there, whatever, no big deal. Anyways, it got me to thinking about the past almost 5 years. I was shocked when I got into my first place, and I fell in love with it. And the truth was, the longer I was in my own place and doing my own thing, the longer I really did love being alone. I loved being single. I could go out with my friend to go get dinner and a movie. I could decide that I don't want to go deal with the world today, and I'm not going to deal with the world. I could eat whatever I wanted. I didn't have to budget out for food based off of not just my tastes and preferences and needs, but other people. I didn't have to do that anymore. Everything that I chose to do was on me. So my world opened up. I had to learn how to cook, for one, which was very, very difficult for me to learn how to do that. I still struggle with it at times, but I do a lot of fruits and salads and things like that. I love my meat. I am not vegan or vegetarian or any of that. I love I love a good cheeseburger and a steak and the rest of it. And so I realized over the past couple of weeks while I'm out, now that I have a vehicle again and I'm out doing delivery full time, I started to realize that that's what I want. And that I come on here to share these things with you, so maybe it helps other people that are confused and lost. If you're struggling with any of the things that I've talked about in these videos, feel free to reach out. You can message me. My contact information is below in the description. There's a cell phone. It's not the one. It's not my main one that I use for DoorDash, but it's another one. It's my spare cell phone. And then there's an email down there. So feel free to reach out. I don't think that I don't know if I've said this before to you, but it doesn't cost you anything. I'm not doing this to make a ton of money. I like what I do. I like doing DoorDash. I like when I travel around to my different places with my family and stuff and go visit them. I like DoorDashing in those areas because I meet people and I'm a people person, kind of. I like people. I like meeting new people. I like interacting with people, but I still need my alone time to recoup. Maybe I won't if I find the right soul tribe. That's what we're here for, right? So anyways, I just want to let you know that if you do need somebody to talk to or reach out to somebody, feel free to give me a call. Text me, email me, especially if you don't want to discuss something that's going to be in the messages and everybody's going to see. And don't worry about the time, especially during the day, because I have earpieces, earphones, and I can easily talk to you while I'm doing delivery. I can pause or whatever. But if you'd rather set up a time that works best for you, feel free to email me or shoot me a text, and we can set up a time that we can chill and talk about anything that you need to get off your chest, and you don't feel like you can go to anybody else because you're afraid you're going to be judged, or you're afraid that you are being crazy or whatever. Feel free to reach out. That's the only reason that I'm here. I have a lot of knowledge, as you can see in some of the videos. Most of that knowledge was hard earned. You know, being young and dumb. Older in wisdom. I'm 51 if you didn't know that. Anyways, feel free to reach out. Feel free to. It's not, I'm not charging you anything for it. There's no payment, no nothing. I do these videos because I like to do them. I've been a little crazy lately, but I'm getting back. I'm now going to start getting back into a routine now that the car's fixed and ready to go, and I'm scheduling and I'm doing what I need to do. I got a lot of work that I'm doing around here, but here's how I do it. My sons taught me, as they got older, they said to me, "Mom, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" They know the things that I've wanted to do in my life. They're like, "Why don't you do it?" And I'm like, "Because I don't have the time." And they're like, "Mom, 1 hour a day, anytime during that day, 1 hour, and after a month, you will have 30 hours put in." And I thought, okay, that makes sense. So when I started on the channel, that's what I did. I would do my research, whatever else that I was doing, learning how to use this equipment, whatever I needed to, and then not all the time was it up to an hour. The book has been more sporadic, and the only reason that the book's been more sporadic for me is because it's tough to write this, because I'm writing this book based on my childhood, and the point of the book is to be able to help other people know that just because they came from that, they don't have to stay there. They can grow, and that they can break they can break those family curses. They can break the dysfunction. The cycle can end with you. And that's why I'm writing the book. However, writing the book and sharing some of these stories, these were stories that I, it's not like I didn't know these stories because they were mine, but I don't think I've had to articulate them as clearly as I do now. And sometimes it brings up things, which is this is why I talk to you about finding your true authentic self and loving yourself, because in the process of writing this book, that's kind of what's been happening as I'm writing this. So it's actually quite cathartic, but it's taking time, and that's okay. There's no deadline, there's no nothing. It's all about my healing and my growing. And if you're looking to heal and you're looking to grow, feel free to reach out. I'm right here. I will always help you. Contact information's below, and it's free. I don't charge you anything. I don't think that I've said that before, and I know that a lot of people are like, I've been in positions where I haven't had money to do something, but I've wanted to reach out, but I just didn't have the funds to do it. So this isn't on a pay thing. That's not how it is. So feel free to reach out. Again, unconditional love does not mean unconditional chances and unconditional acceptance of bad behavior. There's nothing negative with love. Love is all positive. It's kindness and compassion. And you can still love somebody and not be with them. Why? Because you know they're not good for you. They got their own demons. I've already embraced mine. I've learned to control it. Anyways, alright, I'm rambling again. It doesn't really matter because it is my channel and it's called Danny's Rambling, so it works. Anyways, guys, hope you have a great night. I will be back in a day or two. And I'm going to finish flooring and start with painting the walls and the cabinets. So, and when I'm fully finished with all of it, I will post videos. I won't like the whole time. I'll just speed it up and not everything, but whatever. Anyways, have a great night, guys. Love ya.